Right now, you're probably spending 40 plus hours a week at your job, trading time for money. But what if I told you that with just 1 hour a day, you could build skills that could double or even triple your income? But here's what makes this different. We're not just talking about technical skills you can learn. We're talking about fundamental qualities that will make everything else you do more valuable. Before we dive in, here's a quick reality check. These skills won't make you rich overnight. But I can tell you from personal experience and from seeing countless others succeed that investing in these skills can completely transform your income potential. Let's get started. Let's start with something that's changing everything around us, AI. But I'm not talking about it the way most people do. Because here's the thing. While everyone is debating about AI replacing jobs, they're missing the bigger picture. AI is becoming a fundamental part of how we think and work. It's not about replacing human skills. It's actually about amplifying them. For example, I spend my whole day talking with AI, not because I'm trying to automate everything, but because it's becoming like having a thought partner. When I'm writing scripts like this one, AI helps me explore different angles I might not have considered. Or working on projects, it helps me break down complex problems. And even when I'm learning something new, AI helps me understand concepts from different perspectives. But here's what most people get wrong about AI. They're treating it like a magic solution. They think it's about getting quick answers. But the real power of AI is how it enhances your thinking process. Think of it this way. AI isn't replacing the need for human skills. Instead, it's raising the baseline of what's possible. The people who will thrive aren't those who can use AI to automate tasks. They're the ones who can use AI to enhance their creativity, decision-making, and problem-solving. This is why learning to work with AI isn't just about learning a tool. It's about developing a new way of thinking. It's about understanding how to ask better questions, think more systematically, combine AI insights with human judgment, and use AI to enhance your natural capabilities, not replace them. I've noticed something interesting. The more I work with AI, the better I actually have become better at breaking down complex problems, structuring my thoughts, seeing connections between different ideas, and most importantly, focusing on the truly human aspect of my work. The beautiful thing about the skill set is that it builds on it itself. As AI tools get more powerful, having this foundation of understanding how to think alongside AI becomes even more valuable. For example, I've always struggled with traditional note-taking methods, and since childhood, I would create mind maps to understand concepts, but they were time-consuming, and I would also move by paper notes too. Now, whenever I need to clear my mind or learn something new or see the bigger picture, I use ChatGPT with the whimsical diagram integration. I do a brain dump, usually with a voice memo, and ask ChatGPT to create a mind map from it. It's literally a game changer, and I use these mind maps during team meetings to explain concepts, share ideas with others, or manage my personal learning and knowledge. This thing not only helps with learning and understanding, but also improves note-taking and team productivity too. So where should you start? I would say pick one area of your work to enhance with AI, whether that's responding to emails, brainstorming, note-taking, learning, or project management. And then master one AI tool thoroughly instead of doubling in many. And after that, focus on integrating AI into your workflow, not replacing your skills. If you want to get the free mind map of this video, check the link in the description below. The next skill might surprise you because it sounds so basic, and it's problem solving. But I'm not talking about the kind that you learn in school. Let me explain what I mean. So most people make a critical mistake when they face problems. They either give up or just complain about them. And I used to do this a lot too. But I've learned that every problem is actually a hidden opportunity. Think about this. So I had ADHD, and I noticed that people with ADHD were really struggling with standard productivity systems. And traditional advice just make a to-do list, use a normal calendar, time block, etc. wasn't working for us. So instead of giving up and using ADHD as an excuse, I decided to do something about it. What did I do? So I created a Notion template specifically designed for how the ADHD brain works. I spent time understanding our unique challenges and tested different methods and built something that actually worked with our natural tendencies rather than against them. And just by sharing the solution casually in my content, it ended up generating $50K USD. But here's what really interesting. I'm still working on improving it because users keep sharing new challenges that need solving. This is what true problem solving looks like in action. It's not just about like finding a quick fix into one problem, because usually when problems solved, they come with new problems. So, I listen to the feedback, identify new issues, and I work on solutions. So right now I'm developing a version 2.0, which addresses all the new challenges people that share with me. So this approach has completely changed how I look at everything. When I see something that's not working well in my life, I don't just accept it anymore. I start thinking about how it could be better. How can I solve it? Ideas are great, but they are useless if you don't take action. There were probably hundreds of people who thought about something like Uber before it existed. But the difference is, someone actually did it. What I've learned is that being proactive and focusing on solutions rather than problems changes everything in your life. How people see you at work, what opportunities come your way, even how you view your own capabilities. So here's what I want you to do. The next time you hear someone complaining about something, it can be even you, instead of joining in, ask yourself, how could this be solved? Then take one small step toward making that solution real. That's how real change starts. Now let's talk about something that often gets misunderstood, personal branding. And before you roll your eyes thinking it's about becoming an influencer or creating fancy logos and I'm trying to convince you to become a YouTuber, it's not. Hear me out. Your personal brand isn't what you post on social media. It's about what people say about you when you're not in the room. Think about that for a second. When your colleagues talk about you at work, what do they say? What comes to mind when your name pops up in conversations? This is about crafting some fake persona or something. It's about being intentional with how you show up in the world. Let me share a personal example. My brand isn't something I created overnight. It evolved from consistently showing up in 3 specific ways. First, I'm known for my don't give up attitude. When others see a dead end, I see a journey. This isn't about being positive. It's about being the person who keeps pushing when things get tough. Second, I've built a reputation as a problem solver. When someone has an issue, they know I will help fix it instead of just listening to their complaints. Obviously, if they're also looking for help. For example, ADHD template that I built, that's my brand in action. There's a problem and I'm trying to solve it. And third, I'm proactive. I don't wait for opportunities, okay? I create them. When I see something that could be better, I take initiative to improve it. Here's what's fascinating. Once you get clear about your brand, it starts acting like a magnet. The right opportunities, people, and projects naturally gravitate towards you. And because of that, I got a lot of job offers, collaborations, partnerships come to my way, specifically because people knew exactly what I stand for. Your brand isn't what you say it is. It is what you consistently do. It's how you handle tough situations, how you treat people when no one's watching, and the quality of work you deliver even on your worst days. And here's a practical way I would start with building a personal brand. Think about 3 qualities you want to be known for, not what you think will impress others, but what truly matters to you. Then look for small daily opportunities to demonstrate these qualities. For example, if you want to be known as innovative, don't wait for big projects. Start by suggesting small improvements in your daily work. If reliability is your thing, be the person who always delivers on time every single time. The beautiful thing about personal branding is that it compounds over time. Every interaction is a chance to reinforce what you stand for. And unlike social media followers or likes, this is a kind of a brand equity has real lasting value in your career, whether you're in content creation or not. Here's something that might surprise you. Content creation isn't just for YouTubers or influencers anymore. It's becoming a fundamental business skill. Think about even Elon Musk. Whether you like him or not, he's a CEO of $1 billion companies and he spends time creating content on X. You might be thinking it's not content that he's doing. No, it is. So what? Because content is the new way we communicate, build relationships, and demonstrate expertise. But I know what you might be thinking. I'm not creative enough, or I don't have anything interesting to share with the world. And I used to think the same way. And this is how I changed my perspective. Content creation isn't about being perfect or revolutionary. It's more about sharing your journeys or insights and your unique way of seeing the world. We all know that content creation is an important element for any kind of online business, but making good videos is so damn hard. That's why I want to tell you about today's sponsor, InVideo AI, who makes video creation easy for everyone, just like ChatGPT made writing easier. While other AI tools can only generate short clips without audio, InVideo AI does much more. It helps you make complete videos with AI-generated footage, voiceovers, subtitles, and music in more than 50 languages. You can use it to make all kinds of videos from educational content to documentaries and storytelling videos. Let me show you how simple it is. So I'll make a video about a fascinating historical relationship between two brilliant minds, which demonstrates the incredible hyper-realistic film capabilities of the soul. First, you type what kind of video you want and choose only AI clips to create your footage. For the demonstration, I'll use this prompt.
I am, or rather was, J. Robert Oppenheimer. In the annals of physics, my name is often spoken in the same breath as Einstein's. But there was a time when I was just a young scientist, in awe of the great man. It was 1947 when I first met Albert Einstein. I remember my heart racing as I approached his office at Princeton.
Come in, young man.
The tool makes your video in minutes. And here's the cool part. You don't necessarily need to learn complicated editing software. Instead, you can simply type what you want to change. If you want more dramatic music, you can just type make the background music more intense. Or let's say you need your video in French, you can type translate to French. It will even copy your voice to sound natural in that language. If any clip doesn't match your vision, you can easily sub it out with either stock footage from their extensive library or generate new AI clips instantly. You can also pick music that fits your video and adjust your script however you want. They have a free plan to try things out, and their AI video plan costs $96 per month and gives you 15 minutes of video creation time. Now that might sound like an investment, but think about it this way. Normally you would spend hundreds of dollars on video editors, voiceover narrators, and translators. InVideo AI gives you all of this in one place for much less money. If you're already using InVideo, you can easily add these generative capabilities through the add-on section. Whether you're starting a YouTube channel, working with clients, or promoting your business, InVideo AI can help your content creation process easily. If you're interested, check the link in the description below. But here's what's really interesting about content creation. It's not just about the content itself. It's about developing a whole package of skills that make it incredibly valuable in today's market. When you create content regularly, you're also actually learning how to communicate complex ideas simply, how to read and respond to your audience, how to tell compelling stories, and how to stand out in a crowded space. And yes, while AI tools are making it easier to create content, they're actually making these fundamental skills more valuable, not less. Why? Because now everyone can create decent content, right? The difference maker is your unique perspective, your ability to connect with people, and your skill in using these tools effectively. Let's talk about the skill that might make you uncomfortable: sales. Now, before you tell me I'm not a salesperson or hate selling, let me share something that changed my perspective completely. Sales isn't about convincing people to buy things they don't want. It's about understanding human psychology and learning how to communicate value effectively. And also, you're already selling every single day, whether you realize it or not. When you're, let's say, trying to get your team on board with a new idea, that's sales. When you're in a job interview explaining why you're the best candidate, that's sales. When you're trying to convince your partner to, let's say, try a new restaurant, that's sales too. When I first started my online business, I felt like showing people all the technical features of my digital products would win them over. And I would go on about automation, integrations, and specifications of my Notion template, but it wasn't selling that well. But then I realized that people don't buy features. They buy better versions of themselves. That's like when I learned that great sales isn't actually about features, it's about transformation. So instead of telling people what something is, I started showing them how it could change their lives. Let's say that aviation template that I mentioned earlier, right? I could have focused on all the fancy features and automations, and I could have explained that entirely. But instead, I talked about how it feels to finally have a system that works with your brain instead of against it in the videos that I promoted it. And that is the difference between selling features and selling transformation. Once you understand the principles of influence and persuasion, you start seeing actually opportunities everywhere because you become better at negotiating your salary, getting buy-in for your ideas, and building stronger relationships, and also leading teams and projects, even helping others achieve their goals because you're so persuasive. And the best part is that you can practice these skills in a low-stakes situations every single day. You can start by focusing on one simple principle: understanding the other person's perspective. Before you try to influence or persuade, ask yourself, what does this person really want? What are their fears? What are their aspirations or their constraints? I found that the best sales conversations often involve very little talking. Instead, they are about asking the right questions and listening, really listening to the answers. Because when you truly understand someone's needs, the solutions actually often presents itself naturally. For example, when I'm talking to my coaching students about their YouTube strategy, I don't start by explaining my solution and what to do, etc., etc. Instead, I ask about their current challenges, what they've tried before, and what is their ideal outcome looks like. I never assume. This not only helps understand if my solution is a good fit, it helps them realize exactly what they need. And the beautiful thing about developing sales skills is that they're compound over time, because each interaction teaches you new about human psychology, communication, and problem solving if you look from the sales perspective. And in a world where AI can handle more and more technical skills, these deeply human skills become increasingly valuable, and you can use it in almost all industries. Now let's talk about a skill that some people might think AI is making useless: writing. AI isn't diminishing the value of great writing. It's actually making exceptional writing more valuable than ever before. Think about it this way. Yes, AI can help anyone create decent writing. It's like having a calculator for words. But just like having a calculator doesn't make you a mathematician, having AI doesn't automatically make you a great writer. What's really happening is that AI is actually raising the baseline. When everyone can produce acceptable writing, the bar for what counts as truly outstanding writing goes up. It's not just about stringing sentences together anymore. It's about knowing how to capture attention, tell compelling stories, and create emotional connections. When I just started creating content, I thought I could just rely on ChatGPT to write my scripts. But I realized that while yes, AI can help you structure the grammar, it couldn't really capture my unique voice or tell my specific stories. It couldn't, replicate the authenticity that comes from personal experience. It just sounded too AI. Writing is not just about writing words on a page. It's actually about understanding how to structure ideas for maximum impact and knowing how to guide someone's attention and emotions, and being able to translate complex concepts into simple, clear language, and creating content that resonates with specific audiences. And yes, why AI is an incredible tool for writing, and I use it every single time, it's limited to your ability to guide it. Think of AI as like an assistant. The better you are at directing it, the better results you get. Your understanding of storytelling, audience psychology, and effective communication becomes a differentiator factor when everyone has access to the same tool. For example, when I'm writing scripts like this one, I don't just feed a prompt into AI and call it a day. I use AI to explore different angles, test various hooks, and redefine my ideas. But the core message, the story structure, and the emotional journey that comes from my understanding of what resonates with real people and from my experiences. And what's particularly exciting about developing your writing skills now is that you can combine traditional writing expertise with AI capabilities. This combination creates a powerful skill set that's incredibly valuable in every single industry, from marketing and education to technical documentation and business communication, everything. Writing is a part of everything. So how would I start? I would start by focusing on one specific type of writing, whether it's writing engaging emails or maybe social media posts or copywriting. Master one format before moving to others, and pay attention to what makes certain pieces of writing more effective than the others. Study the structures, the word choices, the emotional hooks, and the storytelling structures too. And if you're interested in improving your YouTube scripts, if you want to get better at it, I have a free guide you can download and use. It will teach you how to storytell, persuade people, and tell your stories in a way that captures attention. Link in the description below. It's completely free. In a world where AI can generate endless content, the ability to write in a way that truly connects with people becomes even more valuable. It's not about competing with AI, but it's using AI to amplify your unique voice and perspective. Let's talk about a skill that might surprise you, which is thumbnails. Now you might be thinking, really? Thumbnails? But this is very important. We're living in a visual first world, and knowing how to capture attention through design has actually become incredibly valuable in my opinion. Think about it for a second. When you're scrolling through social media or YouTube, what makes you stop and click? It's rarely the title alone. It's that perfect combination of title and thumbnail that catches your eye. And what's really interesting is that most companies are starting to realize this too. They're pouring millions into social media marketing, but many of them are struggling to connect with younger audiences. Why? Because they are still using traditional marketing design principles in a space that demands a completely different approach. So when they post their own content, it doesn't do well as content creators. So when I started creating content, I assumed, good content was enough. People will find it as long as it's valuable. But then I realized that videos with better thumbnails consistently outperformed similar content with poor thumbnails. It wasn't even my clothes. The same exact video could see double or triple the views just by changing thumbnail, even in the existing video. What's make thumbnail design as a skill valuable is that there's a huge gap in the market. Yes, there are many thumbnail designers out there, but finding someone who truly understands how to design for attention in the social media age is very rare and incredibly valuable. You might be thinking, but I don't know how to use Photoshop, I'm not creative, etc., etc. You don't have to. For example, I have 1.4 million subscribers, and I still use Canva for my thumbnails, and it works. It's not about complex design skills, but it's understanding what makes people click. So, for example, my thumbnail process is first, I study high-performing content in my niche. I look for patterns, what colors are they using, what kind of structure are they using in the thumbnail, or how they arrange the text, and what emotional triggers are they tapping into. Don't get me wrong, it's not about copying, it's about understanding what works and why, and having that understanding in your mind. And then I focus on 3 key elements. First, the initial visual hook, what will make someone stop scrolling, And then the emotional trigger. What feeling am I trying to evoke? And the curiosity gap. What question am I making them want to answer? For example, when I create thumbnails, I focus on the transformation the video can bring to the viewer. The beautiful thing about thumbnail design is that you can practice and improve from anywhere. You don't have to go to a school for that. Every time you see a thumbnail that makes you click, just ask yourself why. You can even take screenshots and keep them in one folder. What elements drew you in? How could you apply those principles to your own work? And even though this is a simple skill, it's actually becoming more and more valuable. As more businesses shift their marketing badges to social media, the demand for people who understand how to create scroll-stopping visuals is going to skyrocket. You can start small. You can start with Canva, learn the basics, begin analyzing successful content across various different niches, and pay attention to color combinations that grab attention, maybe text placement and hierarchy, and expressions and how to layer them, and how different elements create emotional response. Great thumbnail design is not about being artistic, it's about understanding human psychology and attention patterns. And in a world where everyone is fighting for attention, that understanding is worth weighting in gold. Combining these 7 skills, using AI, solving problems, building your personal brand, creating content, understanding sales, writing well, and designing, makes you valuable in any job or business. If you're interested, don't check out my free writing guide in the description below. A year from now, you'll wish you had started today. So take action. If you found this video helpful, I'm sure you will find this video interesting, where I talk about 7 income streams that helped me retire my parents at age 21. See you soon.